Welcome to 5 Facts Only. Today, we dive into the darkest secrets hidden in the basement. Dare to discover what really lurks below. Number 5. Slashed across the small ventilation holes are gouges that look eerily like human fingernails, dragged over and over in helpless desperation. Each scratch seems to echo silent screams from the past. So let's step back and see what he's really stumbled upon. There's this crude wooden box, large enough to trap a person inside its inside walls, scarred by frantic claw marks.
So James agreed, the moment you walk in this room, it's creepy. It makes no sense. Over by James, there's a random stool and a microwave that, is it plugged in? No, okay, so.
Right beside it, an old, rickety stool, perfectly placed for someone to sit back and enjoy the muffled cries, the scratching, and the rising panic coming from within. And when the captive inside grew too weak or hungry.
This is what it is. It is a small room with chairs. It's nothing else.
Perhaps they were tossed some microwaved leftovers, just enough to keep them alive, prolonging the torment for another day in that cold, hidden basement. But the most chilling discovery comes later.
Yes, James, look at this. There's scratch marks. There are legit scratch marks. There are f***ing scratch marks.
If you're wondering what ultimately happened to the poor souls locked in that box, the answer is revealed when he stumbles upon a scorched, rusted contraption tucked into a corner, an incinerator, clearly well used over the years.
So that the fresh air could still come in, but you couldn't get your hand up there. You can reach out and signal to people. Right.
He even finds ash still collected at the bottom, a grim sign that this monstrous device might have been fired up not too long ago. Just imagine the twisted routine. Lock someone in the box. Listen to them beg and claw until they can't anymore. Feed them just enough to start it all over again. And when it's finally over, reduce them to ashes. That's far too many horrors packed into one hidden basement to brush off as old junk. The nail scratches, the box, the stool, the incinerator still holding fresh ash.
It's actually an old incinerator.
Something terrible happened here, and worse, it might still be happening. Maybe it's time to forget about saving the security deposit and help his girlfriend find a new apartment somewhere far, far from this basement and its unspeakable history. Number 4. A video that might show someone's last moments leaves me with a sinking feeling it looks terrifyingly real, and her panicked screams sound painfully genuine. She pounds on a locked door, begging for help. But her cries only echo off cold basement walls. No one comes to save her from that small, suffocating room. The worst part? A camera placed directly facing the door, as if someone, or even a twisted group, set it up to capture her fear. It's hard to believe this is just acting, and it makes me feel sick to imagine it's real. I can't help but suspect this short clip is part of something far darker. I'm sharing it here in the hope someone recognizes it and can explain where it came from, because I still hear her screams every time I close my eyes. Number 3. At a construction site, rumors of a ghost lurking in the basement grew so persistent that most workers flat out refused to set foot down there. But one day, after every power tool on site mysteriously died at once, someone had to venture below to reset the breakers, terrified to go alone. But with no one willing to join him, the worker decided to record a video, partly for proof, partly to calm his nerves. But what he ended up capturing now haunts him far worse than the dark. Watch closely. As he walks down a long, narrow hallway, he passes two dark rooms that seem empty at first glance. But in the second room, something unsettling flickers into view, a pale, ghostly figure dragging itself slowly across the cold concrete floor. Moments later, there's the unmistakable sound of shuffling footsteps behind him. Unaware of the figure, the worker keeps moving through the maze-like passage, searching for the circuit box buried in the shadows. Suddenly, something in the darkness jolts him. And an eerie, unexplained light spills into the hallway, briefly cutting through the gloom. Heart racing, he rushes into the room, only to find it completely dark again. The unsettling presence feels even stronger, as if something unseen is standing just behind him. Panicked, he bolts from the basement and uploads the footage to YouTube, desperate to share what he saw. In the description, he says other workers also saw the strange flash of light and felt a deep sense of dread in the basement. Uploaded on the 13th of December, 2019, it's his only video. No updates, no explanations. It seems he made the channel just to share this terrifying moment before quitting and running for good. All that remains is eerie proof of something still lurking below. Number 2. The old Baraboo Inn, with its 150-year-old history, is said to be one of the most haunted places in Wisconsin. Abandoned from 1988 to 2002, the building sat in silence for 14 years until it reopened, only to reveal something waiting in the shadows, the ghost of a man haunting the basement. A paranormal investigator named Sarah bravely stands at the top of the basement stairs, trying to make contact. Almost at once, strange things begin to happen. Their motion sensors light up, and the music box, which should only play when something passes by, starts playing on its own. It feels as though something unseen, something cold and restless, is moving just out of sight. Then the team's cameras catch something chilling. A ghostly shape, barely visible.
That's definitely not picking up on the speaker. Something's there? Let me see. Oh yeah, there's a figure there.
And stand in front of the large speakers, almost as if it's drawn by the vibration of the sound. The figure lingers only moments before disappearing, leaving behind a heavy silence and a feeling of dread. But the haunting doesn't stop there. Later, the same shadowy form seems to return, hiding deeper in the basement's darkness, silently watching the investigators. The air feels colder, heavier, charged with an energy that makes every breath come a little harder. It's here the truth of the basement comes to light, a dark piece of history never fully shared.
Mind if I do a flash? You okay, sir?
Okay.
Okay, come on. This is not cool. You want to get out to it?
Battery's running low on there.
Years ago, this basement belonged to a man who strangled innocent women. Though his life ended, his cruelty still lingers in the shadows. During an investigation, Sarah feels unseen hands tighten around her neck, forcing her to black out. Her terrified team pulls her to safety. Deciding they've seen enough, they leave behind chilling footage of shadowy figures and an unshakable sense that something in the old Baraboo Inn is still watching. Number 1. Claus discovered something so unsettling in his basement that he set up multiple cameras, hoping to catch it in action. But what he captured instead is even worse. A brittle, dried layer of shed skin clinging to the cold stone wall. Just hearing the crackling sound it makes when touched is enough to make your own skin crawl.
What in the world?
Looking closely, you can see where the snake dragged itself along the grooves between two stones, scraping off the old layer to slither out larger than before.
Ladies and gentlemen, that right there is a big snake. And it's somewhere in my basement.
A quick online search paints an even more disturbing picture. Snakes can sneak into basements through tiny cracks in the foundation, or even through drain pipes if there's plumbing below. And once they're in, the only real way to get them out is by removing them by hand or calling in professional help. Claws measured the discarded skin at over 3 feet long. If that's accurate, I'd say it might be time for Claws to do a lot more than set up cameras. Subscribe 5 Facts, only for more content.